Greetings, Star Citizens, and welcome to another beautiful day in the verse. My name is Crash Potato, and this is Let's Talk Star Citizen. So this is a new series that I am planning to start, depending if you guys want to see more of this. And I'll probably do this every week, possibly every month, depending how much there is to talk about in Star Citizen. I could probably do one every day with the amount of controversial topics that go around Star Citizen, but I'll most likely do it every week. Now, obviously, the biggest thing to talk about first is over the weekend we had CitizenCon, and the biggest thing from CitizenCon was this homestead demo that you're seeing in the background. Now, a lot of people like or dislike. It's sort of one of those you love or you hate this demo. You think it was either it destroyed your dreams or it made your dreams. Personally, I fit into the category where I am very much in the middle, and I've got very mixed feelings about this demo. So I loved the demo, I loved what we saw, I loved the way the trees looked, the way we heard the birds tweeting and everything. That side of it, I've absolutely fell in love with, and I can just see myself just flying around these planets or driving around these planets, and I can see myself having hours of fun just randomly flying or driving around planets, because that's what I like to do in games. I like to just randomly do the most mindless thing and just relax, and I can see myself doing that in Star Citizen. The thing I didn't like about the Homestead demo is how overly scripted it was. The way they had the perfectly timed ambush, the perfectly timed sandstorm, the perfectly timed sandworm, all of those big, perfectly timed scripted events are what put me off this demo, and that's the side that I don't like. I understand that they had to script to some degree to make it look appealing to all the potential new Star Citizens that would come from CitizenCon. However, it gave me massive flashbacks to No Man's Sky. Obviously, No Man's Sky did very much the same thing. They showed all scripted stuff and handmade stuff that wasn't actually in the game. So it really makes me wonder, how much of this are we actually going to see in the game? Is any of this going to be in the game? Are we going to get those bird tweetings, those ambient bird tweets? Are we going to get random sandstorms that just flow in from what seems like nowhere? Are we going to get ambushed from cliffs? A lot of that I doubt we're going to get. I doubt we're going to get those ambush sort of scenes. I doubt we're going to get perfectly timed sandstorms. They might be a thing, but I doubt they're going to be the same as what we saw, where they're sort of like ripping parts of the map. I really can't imagine them doing that in the actual game. And as for the giant sandworm popping out the ground, I really don't know about that one. I think that might be possible. It might be something that potentially could be seen, but I doubt it'll be as perfectly timed, and I doubt it's probably going to be something that, if that does happen, most people probably aren't going to see it, because it's one of those where they would have to have a very fine balance. If everybody saw it, if it was perfectly timed every time you went to that location, then it wouldn't be as spectacular. You know, you'd see hundreds of them just popping up in the desert, and it'd be a clusterfuck of space worms or sandworms. And the other side is, if it's super rare that nobody sees it, then it's sort of like, what would be the point in adding it? So I really don't know if those sandworms are going to be added. I don't know what they're going to do with it, and that's what I didn't like. I wanted to see stuff that I was going to see. I wanted to see the future of Star Citizen. I wanted to see stuff that I can expect myself doing. Trade missions. I mean, the 3.0 demo, obviously the 3.0 demo was also scripted, but it wasn't as scripted, and it was sort of done in a way where you could see yourself doing it. You could see yourself having those battles and those missions. You could see yourself doing that mission, and you could see yourself having something turn out similar to that. Whereas this, I can't see any of this happen. This perfectly timed ambush and perfect positioned ambush, I can't see that happening in a procedurally generated situation. It would have to be scripted. It would have to be in a campaign, like in Squadron 42, So for this sort of stuff, maybe we will see it in Squadron 42. Maybe we'll see some missions that are similar to it, but I cannot imagine seeing that on an everyday basis. I can't imagine that being a procedural thing. And that's what put me off. Like I say, I wanted to see what I would be doing in the future. I wanted to see the future of Star Citizen. I don't want to see scripted events, because then I have to speculate, am I ever going to actually be able to do that? Is that just for this demo? Or will I be able to do similar things to that? And the other thing, the other big thing going around, the big topic to talk about, is obviously the Squadron 42 delays. So Squadron 42 was originally planned, well, not originally planned, because the original plan was back in 2014, but since the 3.0 demo that we got, it was planned that Squadron 42 would be done and fully released by the end of 2016. So probably Christmas time or New Year's sort of time, but it would be done in 2016 or by the end of 2016. And that had me excited, because obviously that is very close, that is really close to being playable, but plans have changed and it is no longer going to be it is no longer going to be in 2016. It's probably going to be 2017, possibly even later, maybe 2018, but I think it's probably going to be 2017. But where in 2017, we don't really know. There might be another delay. And a lot of people are up in arms about this delay, because they're seeing it as their get out of this project, because it's delayed. It's constantly delayed. And a lot of people are fed up. I personally am kind of fed up with delays, but I'm always fed up with delays. I hate waiting for a game. I hate waiting for release games. I'm the kind of guy that wants it as soon as possible. However, I also want a good game. I would rather the game be delayed and good than rushed out and have features cut out of it and have the budget cut down and it be horrible, because that will just ruin my experience. And once my experience is ruined, I very rarely go back to a game. I don't want Star Citizen to fall down that road. I don't want it to fall down into a game that's just been cut back just to make deadline. And that is the reason I back the game, and it's the reason many other people back the game. We back the game because we don't like publishers. Because publishers are bad. No matter what you say, publishers are bad for game development, because publishers don't care about development. They don't care about making a good game. They don't care about making an impressive game. They don't care about making a pretty game. Publishers care about making money. And the way you make money is you release a game as quickly as possible and as cheap as possible, and you end up getting into a realm of cutting back features. You end up where you're cutting out parts of the game just to make deadline, just to make release, just to make money. And that's not what this community is about. That's not what we want. We don't want another AAA game. We don't want another published game where it's forced out, and it's forced out to be released, and it's forced to have its budget cut back, and it's forced to have features removed, because the game will end up being bad if we get that. And that's what I feel the community is turning into. The community is becoming the publisher of Star Citizen. We're constantly pestering CIG to get it out now. You know, no more delays. We want it now. We want it right now. We want it by the end of this month. And if we got it by the end of the month, it would be a horrible game, and it would ruin your future experience with the game. You'd be turned off by the game, and it would end up like No Man's Sky. Everyone would hate it. It would get terrible reviews, and no one would play it, and it would be dead. There would be no recovery. So I don't like how the community is turning into publishers. And as much as I hate delays, I mean, I want the game today as much as anyone else wants the game, but I want a good game today, and that's just not possible. But that has been the first episode of Let's Talk About Star Citizen. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more of this series, if you want to see me talk about more topics, then please let me know if this is what you want to see. I don't know if this would be interesting. Like I say, I just want to get stuff off my chest. I want to talk about Star Citizen just to clear my mind. And I don't know if other people want to hear it. And if you want a topic for me to talk about in the next series, then also let me know. But that has been all for me. I will see you guys in the next video. Laters, taters.